Hello, and welcome to Geeks Unleashed. This is episode 230. So I'm Mark. I'm back with an extra episode this week. Well, actually, this will be my third extra episode in the week. And I'm going to bring on someone who is all the way on the other side of the world. He hasn't been on the show for like 4 years. It's been difficult to make things work, but here he is. Matt is back. All right, man.
Hey mate, how are you?
Yeah, good man. Like, so it's 11:30 at night here in the UK, and it's 8:30 in the morning in Melbourne.
Yes.
However, Matt hasn't woke up specially for this episode. He was up at 4:30 to watch football. You right?
100%. Watching Socceroos play Switzerland in a friendly match. So
Yeah. I haven't actually looked at who won.
it was 1-1. So I'm very, very surprised we scored a goal. Switzerland's
Okay.
got a very hard defense. So no, it's very good. Even though I'm wearing a Colombian top, but now Switzerland, it's good. Leading into it, we've got a nice young team. Get out of the group stage is all I want.
Just actually before we get started, as we're on YouTube, if you're watching for the first time, please like and subscribe. This episode will be left on YouTube, but also go onto podcasting platforms afterwards. So please also do all of those things. But you can leave comments on YouTube and Spotify. So if you are watching later on, please let us know what you liked or maybe didn't like about Spider-Man Noir. Right, man. So yeah, it's been 4 years. I haven't had you on It's been about 4 years. It's crazy. I think you came on for Army of the Dead or something the Netflix film.
With the one that Snyder done.
Yeah,
that was a long time ago.
It was during COVID. Yeah, so. But in that 4 years, me and Matt probably speak most weeks, even though like we've just not been able to make it work. But also, you in that last 4 years, you've got married and a kid. Lots changed.
Sold my house, rented, moving in with the parents now. We're trying to buy a house. Oh mate, there's just quit my job, went back to school, study, volunteering at Lifeline.
So your channel is kind of on pause at the minute, isn't it?
Yeah, until I get my place and get my nice setup again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about making a return. But yeah, I've been doing.
So Matt used to do a channel called Talking Pop Culture. Didn't you used to do like a live show like every Saturday morning or something?
Yeah, every Saturday morning used to do a live show, have people on there and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, no, it's just I came back and then it was just too hard, and then I went through some mental health issue kind of things, which just kind of make me get off it for a bit. But now I'm itching to get back, but I don't want to be just, I like to have my toys all set up. I don't want to be in like a blank room,
I know, like what I've got behind me. Although annoyingly, annoyingly though, it's all here. It's on this side here, but I can't turn the desk that way. There'd be no room for me. Basically before the end of the year, I'm hoping to have a much better setup. But at the moment, it's just the way it is. So.
I'm hoping to have it all. Hopefully have a house by Supergirl, and then I can give my nice, honest feedback about that.
Supergirl's not too far away.
Nah, June 26th, I think.
Yeah, literally like. What are you hoping to complete in the next 2 weeks?
Yeah, because we're trying to get a place. We're going to just go straight in, like not wait for like a 30-day settlement or anything like that. We can just go straight in.
Are you looking at a new build then, or someone selling?
No. We'll be buying. Not building, no chance.
No, not building. Like new build, like an empty house, like a brand new build. Or are you looking at buying something that someone's selling?
I am looking to buy anything and everything.
Okay. Man, I've never heard of people completing in that quick a period of time. But good luck to you. So,
as long as you get the finances all done and ready. So I sold my apartment, so I've got money from when I sold my apartment. So I've got like a down deposit up there up front and all that. So
I was just thinking,
as long as it's empty and no one's living in there, we can move in as soon as the money settles.
I was just thinking, I'll show you one toy.
Who's that? Spider-Man.
It's Spider-Boy. This is Bailey Briggs. I don't have a Spider. Sorry.
What line is that? What?
It's the Legends line.
Oh, okay, yeah. Spider-Boy.
Yeah, Spider-Boy. I actually got this last year for Father's Day.
Oh, okay, nice.
So
I'm heading to the city after this. I'll probably buy some toys.
oh,
I always do when I go to the city.
mate, or Spider-Man Noir maybe. So I don't have a Spider-Man Noir figure.
Oh,
So.
mate, I'll tell you what, after the show, I wouldn't mind a nice one of Nicolas Cage's Spider-Man oil. Like one of him as Ben Riley and one of him as Spider.
Oh yeah,
Spider-Man.
yeah. So actually, so that's just like before we talk about the show itself. So Nicolas Cage. Also, by the way, everyone listening, watching, it's the one-off show, so it's not going to be like my normal Friday show. There's no news or anything like that. We're just going to get straight into talking about Spider Noir. Do you know what? For the whole time I was watching it, I wasn't really looking at the title card. I kept just in my mind thinking of the comic Spider-Man Noir. So even when I titled up this YouTube show, originally I titled it up Spider-Man Noir, and then it was on the last episode. I suddenly realised actually this is just called Spider Noir. Because I was just thinking about the comic book. It was just in my brain that that's what it was called. So
I was
the
always
show is Spot. Were you doing it as well? Yeah. Okay.
You say Spider, you used to saying man at the end of it. Like,
I think so. Yeah, I think you're used to saying Spider-Man Noir. So Nicolas Cage, right? He's had a history of being a superhero, which I didn't really think about too much. So Ghost Rider, 2 movies. He
filmed here in Melbourne, Australia.
What, for Ghost Rider?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well,
the whole
Melbourne,
film?
Australia, baby. That's
The whole
where I
film?
live, my city. The whole film.
Oh,
They
okay.
closed off the streets. I remember in the city near the casino. They closed off all the streets, filmed it. Yeah, that was all filmed here in Melbourne, Australia.
Oh, that's pretty cool. And then he also was meant to be in Superman. He was meant to be Superman. He was dressed. There's photos of him dressed as Superman, and but we did finally get to see him whilst in CGI hitting the big screen in the Flash. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And now we finally get him in a TV series. Oh no, hold on. Then he did the voiceover work as well as for the 2 Spider-Verse films. So the first one, much more bigger role in the first one.
Yeah.
What do you think of that Spider-Verse film or the Spider-Verse films?
I'm a fan of Miles Morales, so I really enjoyed him. So the first one was good. The first one was I liked the first one better. I can't even remember the second one, to be honest. I'm just trying to think.
Second one was the part 1 where they introduced Spider-Woman on a motorbike, and
So which one was the one where they're going to blow up the machine? That was
the first one.
That was the first one, Kingpin, and then the
That's
second one was not Kingpin.
There was the machine they had to destroy. The Spider-Man from his universe dies at the beginning, and then I forget his name. The guy from New Girl plays Peter B. Parker.
Yeah, because the second one didn't. In the second one, the Peter Parker Spider-Man that survived, whatever, didn't he have a daughter in the second one?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. So Spider-Man B. Parker showed up with a daughter. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So the second one came out.
When they first came out, I haven't seen them since.
Yeah, no. So the first one that came out in 2018. So it was quite a few years ago now, man. It's getting on for 8 years. 8 years ago. 8 years ago, that first one came out. And then in 2023, Across the Spider-Verse came out. That was right. You saw, Peter B. Parker had a much smaller role, which is played by Jake Johnson. And that was where we had Spider-Man 2029 as the main guy, Oscar Isaac, as played Miguel O'Hara. And there was also, I don't know if you remember this, there was a live action element as well where we got I forgot the guy, but he plays his uncle or something, but showed up in the live action Tom Holland movie.
I remember that. I remember.
But anyway, so it was all building up to an inevitable thing that they said, each Spider-Man has a moment, like essentially like a turning point, and that's what it was building up to. So Miguel was trying to make sure that Miles's death happens, and then it ends with an introduction of like a bad guy at the end. So
Yeah, the animation was really good. I'll give him credit there. Like it was different. It was really good.
Okay, so what's cool about this, by the way, is before we start talking about Spider-Man Noir, Jake Johnson was in a comedy TV series a few years ago called New Girl, and the guy who plays Robbie Robertson in Spider-Man Noir, played by Lamorne Morris, they were in the show together for the whole time it ran, which I was a huge fan of New Girl. Did you ever watch New Girl?
Never heard of it.
Oh man, God, you've got to look it up. It's so funny. I love it. So Lamorne is really good friends with Jake Johnson, and you know there's a scene in I think the final episode where he does an impression of the spider on the phone. He said I saw an interview of him where he called his mate Jake Johnson and said, "Can you give me doing impressions of him being Spider-Man," which I thought was pretty cool. So, right, yeah, basically, I think so. That's we've got sort of Nicolas Cage has been a superhero in Ghost Rider, was almost a Superman, but he has appeared as Spider-Man Noir in the Spider-Verse series, which is Spider-Verse animated movies. And it's pretty cool that now that it's not that same version, it's a different version of the Spider-Man Noir character. Has got his own show. Just going to quickly run through some of the little credits here. So the show was developed by a guy whose name I'm going to butcher, Oren Uzel or something. He is one of the showrunners with Steve Lightfoot. It's directed. The first 2 episodes were directed by Harry Bradbeer. There was other directors throughout. It's produced by many people, including Nicolas Cage and Amy Pascal. It stars, again, quite a big chunk of people here, but Nicolas Cage in the title role, Lamorne as Robbie Robertson. But yeah, so one of my thing here is thought was pretty cool was Brendan Gleeson, obviously is sort of the main villain. The show dropped all 8 episodes, depending on where you sit, but between the 25th to the 27th of May. It ran for 8 episodes with approximate running time of 42 to 49 minutes each. And this part here I thought was quite interesting. Had a budget of $400 million US, which was driven up by the cost of essentially shooting it in black and white and color, because to do both versions did require some reshoots as well. So, all right, when I was prepping for this, I pulled up some facts, and then we'll jump into chatting about it. So, one of this part I found quite interesting. So, Nicolas Cage, his used old character math to capture the voice and physical presence of the grizzled, down on his luck private investigator Ben Reilly. Nicolas Cage is a very specific acting formula. He described the performance as being 70% Humphrey Bogart and 30% Bugs Bunny. He explicitly wanted to capture the sharp, cynical dialogue of classic 1940s detective movies while injecting just enough cartoonish spider trying to cosplay as a human energy to keep it feeling like a comic book. I thought that's cool, Right, okay. So the fact number 2 here. So the hidden world of the color version. If you watch the true hue full color version, you're actually looking at a massive year-long studio course correction. The show was originally built from the ground up to be delivered exclusively in black and white because it was shot for high contrast grayscale. The actual physical sets were painted in strange shades of green and brown and hot pink just to get the perfect gradients of grey on camera. But when the studio later demanded a colour release, it required nearly a year of complex reshoots and extensive digital post-production to fix, causing the budget to skyrocket to $400 million. It's crazy that they made that decision afterwards. So, especially, I might rant about this in a minute, but about flipping Amazon Prime or Prime Video. Right, okay, my last one I wrote down was the outfit isn't actually black because the production designed everything strictly for authentic black and white version. First, the wardrobe choices look completely different depending on which version you stream. Fans who switch over to color versions are often shocked to realize the Spider's iconic stealth suit isn't entirely black or gray. It's actually heavily dark brown, similar to Robbie Robertson's. Walks around vibrantly in a bright orange trench coat that simply registers as a standard tan and grayscale. So it's interesting to hear like the differences in how they ended up filming it from black and white to grey and the difficulties in switching between the two. Do you know, to not harp on the bandwagon a little bit here, I had a little rant last night about the Stargate cancellation. Are you a fan of Stargate?
Oh, years ago.
Oh, so I'm a huge fan of that franchise. I've watched every episode and I've rewatched them multiple times. And there was meant to be a relaunch of a new series, but set in the existing continuity, and they've spent 2 years developing it. Anyway, Amazon have cancelled it before they've even made a full episode. Basically, they spent 2 years fully developing a new show. I think they've written like a new season completely from scratch. You know, started to line actors and full pre-production. And then some new guys come along and cancelled it all. Apparently, it was nothing to do with budget, but it's just crazy to me that you spend 400 million on a show like this, and yet you can't give an existing fan base, which already had 17 seasons of a show, what they actually want. And I know they say it's not to do with budget, but 400 million in the hands of somebody like these people would have delivered a fantastic show. So. Right, this is the summary on IMDb. So Ben Reilly, a seasoned down-on-his-luck private investigator in 1930s New York, is forced to grapple with his past life following a deeply personal tragedy as the city's one and only superhero. Right, let's get started, man. 8 episodes. I watched it throughout the week. I didn't have time to sort of do a whole day thing, but what was your initial thoughts on it?
Well, like I did the jumping back and forth from color
between the color and the black and white. Okay.
I wanted to really watch it, the whole thing in the black and white, because you can just tell the acting and everything was just made for the black and white. But yeah, I don't know. I just had to keep flicking back to the color. But I actually wish this was released weekly. I'm spewing it, like I wanted it to try to push it out as long as I could to enjoy it, but. Yeah, the shows are that addictive that you have to keep watching. So I was spewing. I hope if they make a second season, they go week by week.
Yeah.
But man, I'm going to make a very, very, very controversial call that a lot of people might not like, but I think it's the best superhero TV show that I have seen.
Oh wow!
Probably since the Arrow and Flash. Like that. People can say I'm wrong, but.
There's nothing wrong with your own opinion. So
yeah.
I hate people that give opinions on something that they haven't watched.
Yeah. I don't know. I just really enjoyed it, man. Like, I don't know if it's because it was different. You know what I mean? It's like completely different to what we've had. Like the acting, and like you're saying, Nicolas Cage, the character Ben Reilly, like the way he would talk. Like Nicolas Cage is just a sensational actor. Like he's just.
I did feel there was moments as I was watching it that he was a little bit too goofy. That part, the goofy parts I didn't enjoy as much. I felt like I don't know. I felt like I wasn't in love with his version of Ben Reilly. But and actually, let's talk about Ben Reilly because we're going to spoil this show a little bit. So if we won't spoil massive amounts, but let's talk about the name of Ben Reilly because that caused a little bit of controversy before it started.
Wasn't he a Spider-Man in another comic or something? Universal.
So Ben Reilly is the clone of Peter Parker.
Yes.
Yeah, Ben Reilly is the Scarlet Spider.
Yeah. That because when I heard that, I'm like, hang on, I know this Ben Reilly is meant to be a different Spider-Man. Like,
yeah. So Ben Reilly is the clone of Peter Parker created, which became essentially the main Spider-Man during the '90s Clone Saga.
Yeah.
And has no connection to Spider-Man Noir. Now, I'm assuming that the Peter Parker name couldn't be used due to branding 100%. Because they alluded to the fact that, well, they didn't allude, they said it outright around episode 5 that Ben Reilly wasn't his real name.
Well, yeah, he changed it because...
Changed his name, to hide after what happened to him when he was in the war.
In war, yeah.
Oh,
so maybe it is Peter Parker.
So they don't say his name is Peter Parker, but I looked it up, and a lot of people feel that he was Peter Parker, but because he got bitten during the war, and when he came back, he changed to protect his identity, that he decided to give himself a new name of Ben Reilly because it was everybody that was in that prisoner
I remembered him.
war camp.
POW, I think it
Yeah, POW, yeah. Prisoner of war, yeah. Prisoner of war camp. It's everybody in
Yeah.
that prisoner of war camp that did get bitten. And so he came back, changed his name, but they never said he was called Peter Parker. But a lot of people online felt that that's what he was. So I'm going to go with that he is Peter Parker, but he just changed his name to...
Maybe he changed Ben Reilly to another Spider-Man.
Okay, so this is sort of my thoughts on it. 8 episodes. I'm becoming more of a fan of weekly releases like you. Like, life is busy, right? And I've got a full-time job, I've got a dog, I've got kids, I've got a wife, I've got some friends, I've got as you get older, it's more difficult to have a social life. But there is even that element, and then and also I do a weekly show which I'm on for an hour, and then you've got also prep for that, and there's a lot of time here and there. So to suddenly have 8 episodes drop in 1 week, what I found is it becomes a race to the finish rather than enjoying it. And when Netflix were the people that started this model, when they came out, it was this whole unique. They were trying to break the standard formula that TV had been stuck in a bit of a rut for years. Like, a lot of people were making 20-episode shows, mainly in America. They were dropping, we'd have a 22 episode season starting in September, going all the way till May. They would also film it as they were going along, so you'd get 3 episodes, then a 2-week break, then another 3 episodes, normally in America. And when they licensed those shows abroad, a lot of the TV studios in the UK and probably Australia would sit on them, and they would delay the release normally until a few months of release had been, so we wouldn't have the breaks. But Netflix came along, decided to break up the model. They reduced seasons down to sort of between 8 and 12 episodes, but they would just throw them on their platform. And in the beginning, when Netflix did it, I thought, this is brilliant. Well, I'm on board with this. It's a bit of a shift to suddenly have all your episodes. But when that happened, I was in my 20s. I had a lot more time on my hands. So it was cool to sit down and watch maybe 4 episodes one evening and 4 episodes the next. But now I'm here, there, and everywhere. I don't have time to spend a whole evening watching 4 or 5 episodes. And also, like you just said, I want to savor it. So when these episodes came out, and me and you did agree earlier on in the week that we would do this show. Had it been coming out weekly, we probably would have waited till it come out and then scheduled the show. I like you, I prefer things to come out weekly. I don't mind a double episode drop, like episode 1 and 2, just to get you into it. But I think I don't know whether it's that they just didn't trust it, or I don't know what it was. Like, maybe they thought their fan base wouldn't be around for a weekly thing. I'm not sure. I think when you make people wait a week, it creates water. I've looked this up. It's called water cooler moments. So you remember the old days when we all used to, pre-COVID, we all used to go to an office, and we'd all be in an office, and there'd be a coffee machine or a water machine, and somebody would go to the water machine or a coffee machine, and they'd get a coffee, or the kitchen or whatever. Be like, what did you do last night? I watched the latest episode of Spider-Man Noir. Did you? And when I was younger, I remember Lost was like the big show that everyone used to talk about. That, like, you'd come in the next day, and everyone would spend the day talking about the last night's Lost episode. And I think when you release things weekly, you do create that buzz. And I did feel watching 8 episodes of predominantly one story across 8 episodes. And when you watch it across a real, maybe I watched over 4 or 5 days, it becomes like watching a long film rather than watching a TV series. So I think if they wanted to go down that road, I think they should have actually made, with the money they spent, 400 million, 8 episodes. Why didn't they just make, say, 3 streaming films and then release them over a 12-month period? Like get 1 in January, 1 in June, 1 in December, and create. Because I looked it up. There's been something like 4 or 5 graphic novels or mini-series with featuring the Spider-Man Noir character. I haven't read any of them, but there must be some material that they could have used to make 2 or 3 films with Nicolas Cage on the budget that they've got. I think that's how I would have preferred it, if I'm honest. I didn't hate this show or anything like that. I don't think I enjoyed, one, like you just said, having it all in one go. I didn't particularly enjoy kind of one story over 8 episodes, but what I did love was the style of it. I enjoyed the characters loads, especially Robbie Robertson. He's got to be one of my standouts for this whole thing.
Is he really Irish, or did he just put on that really good?
No, he's American.
That's American.
Yeah, he's Lambourne's definitely
I thought
American.
he was like English or Irish, man. He's done a good job.
No, he's definitely American actor. Yeah, he's American. Yeah. He honestly, oh mate, you've got to watch New Girl. So he isn't in the pilot episode, but he is in from episode 2 onwards. So yeah, he hold on, let me see.
What do you think about there was one character that I just could not get into, and I just find it that this guy tried to rip off Heath Ledger so bad, and that was that electric guy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
His acting. He was trying to be Heath Ledger. Like I'm like, this guy trying to be the Joker, or is he trying to be, what do they call him in the movie instead of what's the name they gave him? But man, he's just, dude. I was just I was like, that was the only times I was cringing. Like, man, I can't be like. That's the only times I.
Well, yeah, mate, I'll tell you what. Let's talk about the rogue gallery, right? Okay, so Felicia Hardy, who is the Black Cat in the normal Spider-Man universe, is now called Cat Hardy. So it's a bit of an amalgamation, and she runs the nightclub. Not a massive villain, but not massively trustworthy either. And then you've got Silvermane, played by Brendan Gleeson, who is a fantastic actor. One of my favorite roles is when he's in the second Paddington film in the prison. He's great in that. He's I forget his name in it, but it's hilarious. And then, like you say,
Silvermane. He's English.
Oh, okay. So sorry, I thought you were talking about Robbie Robertson.
No, sorry, I meant no, Silvermane. He's English, right?
I think so. Yeah. No, he spent some time in. I've just looked it up here because I don't know for sure. He spent some time in Dublin, and also London. I'm not sure where he's from, to be honest. So I reckon he probably is. I reckon he probably is Irish. Yeah, he's an Irish actor. Yeah, he's an Irish actor. He's Emmy Award winning. He's won BAFTAs, Golden Globes. 71 years old. Man, I've seen him in loads of stuff that I love, to be honest.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, Silvermane. Then Tombstone. Tombstone was Lonnie.
Sorry?
Tombstone was in it. Lonnie.
Yeah.
And then what was the electric guy? They didn't call him. Yeah. My brain's gone dead. I've been up since 4:30.
No worries. Right, so you got Flint Marco, played by Jack Houston, who is basically the Sandman. Brendan Gleeson, Silvermane, who is much more of a street level thug in gangster in the normal Peter Parker Spider-Man universe. And then like you say, there was Lonnie, I felt like the Road Gallery, other than Cat and Silvermane, was very one-dimensional. That was my opinion. I didn't really feel they were fleshed out particularly enough. I felt like more could have been done with their background, especially in these 8 episodes that we got. And we got across 2 episodes some flashback history, mainly featuring Nicolas Cage in his army uniform. But I would have been quite happy with even some whole episodes back then, kind of getting to know those people as well as him. And I think they could have done some more digging into the past there. I don't know, what do you think?
No, I agree. I think that a lot of shows do that one episode where because shows that always do that bouncing back and forth, they always have that one episode that's back in the past. And I definitely would have liked something with Nicolas Cage, even like just seeing, like, we get a glimpse of him being when they invaded the camp area. But I would have liked an episode to see what he was like before it, the fight. But then like you saying about the Rogues Gallery, like, where were they from the war till now? You know what I mean? So I would have liked a little brief I agree that like a brief history about where they had been. Like he just pops out and he's a villain all of a sudden.
Mhm.
Like especially the electric guy, I forget his name, but he where was he the whole time? And like they all remember him from the camp being the war hero.
Yeah,
But yeah, I would have loved to have seen, because all we did was see him break open the cage and then go and get bit by this spider or whatever it
yeah.
was. You know,
Was
what I
it
mean, there was nothing
Laura?
else.
Was it Lawrence who was on yesterday? He's saying his favorite character was Janet Roos, who played the secretary. Ben
Oh,
Riley's
yeah,
kind
she
of
was great.
number one woman. Really, she ran the show. It kind of, her loyalty knew no end. She worked for free. She negotiated. For him. It was she was running that thing, and what I liked was when Ben Riley went to her and said, I'm going to leave this town. I'm going to leave a cat, and she was for it. She was like, yeah, go for it. Go
Yeah,
and do your own thing, and she was so supportive and strong. But I love how it ends, where actually the two of them are now together. It's their own investigations
yeah.
company. So she was brilliant. Yeah, you
I
agree?
think yeah, 100%. But I think she was loyal because she knew who he was.
Hmm.
You know, when like, when he goes to say I'm Spider, so oh yeah, I already know that you've told me 100 times. You know, and it shows all the scenes of him telling her.
Yeah.
Like I believe that she was loyal, working without pay. Yeah, you go and be happy. You deserve it. You've been fighting for this town. Like that's why she was so like that, because she knew all the sacrifices that he truly was making. Because I
Hmm.
tell you what, that scene where he's in the bar and he's like, the guys are all giving shit to Spider-Man or Spider, and he's like, do you ever think what he feels and how he feels and what goes on in his life?
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that really made me think, well, hang on a shit. None of us ever question what goes on in the superhero's life. And so she knows all of what goes on in his life. So she was that's why she was loyal and did
I
everything
did
for him.
like
She
that
was a
comedy
great
moment
actress.
where he admits he's the spider, and then it flashes back about 7 times where she
Yeah.
walked in and seen him drunk as a spider. I do feel sometimes it was a little bit campy, but then other moments the humor was pretty cool. So like
Mm.
that part, that little bit of what I've known for ages, because you've got a drink problem basically. So um, so look, we discussed earlier about the colouring, and you've obviously gone between both versions, and
Mm.
I ended up I watched a bit in black and white, and then I ended up just doing it mostly in colour in the end. I think I watched the first two in black and white, but then I was like, oh, actually, I want to see what the alternative is. So then I flicked it over to colour, and then I kind of just let it roll in colour, and then I meant to go back to black and white, but I didn't. But I then went back and watched the first episode in colour just to see the difference, but. I think I prefer the style of black and white though,
Mm.
having done a bit of both. I think the style of black and white much more suits it. I think Amazon should have maybe like had more confidence. I think a lot more people from what I've seen online are much more impressed with the black and white style, and they feel it suits the show. What do you think about the dynamic between the two?
When I was like when I was watching it in the color,
Mm.
you could just tell that it was made for black and white. You know what I mean? Just the way the scenes, the way they were moving, the CGI was pretty ordinary sometimes, but you could see that it was really made for the black and white. And I feel that because I had that option to flip to color, that's why I did it. Like you were saying, if they did take the risk of just putting out there in black and white and force me to watch it in black and white, I still would have watched it and enjoyed it, I believe.
Mhm. Yeah,
But yeah, watching it in color, I could tell that you could just there was just scenes that just said, yeah, this scene specifically was designed for the black and white, by the way they move and they look around and that kind of stuff. So that's my thoughts on it. But it's nice that they gave us the option, but I would have liked to be forced to watch it in black and white because again, it would have been I think might have been a little bit better experience because again, it would have been something even more different. But when you give someone the option of two things, they're
mhm.
always going to go with what they're
More
normally, what
familiar.
they're
Yeah, they're
accustomed
comfortable
to
with.
and what they're familiar with. Yeah.
I
So
assume this is probably why Amazon wanted the color one to make sure that the
yeah,
people that are very anti watching things like that, black and white, that they wanted to have those options. They obviously wanted to get the numbers up and give
mm,
people both choices. It'd be interesting. I mean, Amazon don't really release their numbers, neither do Netflix, but it'd be interesting to know what the volume was of color versus
Yeah.
black and white. I fear the color would be higher, but
Yeah, I think like I said, because everyone's used to it.
hmm.
I think, like old school people would enjoy it, but yeah, I think like today's generation, nah, not happening. Like
Would this show make you go and pick up the comic?
if I had money, yeah. I'm actually
Okay,
going to comic shop today to pick up some books. So I don't know. I might say, hey, you got any Spider-Noir here, or I might just read them online. But whenever I watch shows, the problem that I have
yeah.
is I go out and buy the books.
I know.
But
Do you know what,
I've got
earlier?
to say though, this is finally Sony have finally done something good with a Spider-Man because
I
this is
do. So yeah. So Sony. Okay, so let's talk about Sony's history briefly. They made 3 Tobey Maguire films, 2 Andrew Garfield films, 3 Venom films with Tom Hardy, and they've made a what's the lady
Morbius,
Morbius and Madam
Lady
Web.
Web,
Madam Web. I think that's
and
it. Oh,
no, they made another villain,
no,
Craven.
Craven. Right. Okay. Let's play a game here. Let's rank all these things. Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is the best, right? And then
Disagree.
what? You
I'm Andrew Garfield. I'm Andrew Garfield.
Yeah. Okay, all right. I read something online that people feel that Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, is their favorite, but they prefer Andrew Garfield's Peter
Peter
Parker.
Parker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I can go with that. Right, I can go with that. So I also feel my opinion of Andrew Garfield massively improved when he was in the Spider-Verse film, but not Spider-Verse,
No,
the Tom
No Way
Holland.
Home.
Yeah, No Way Home. Yeah, I think so. No Way Home. Yeah, when
Yeah,
he
No Way
showed up
Home
in
was
No
fun.
Way, yeah, when he showed up in No Way Home, I was 100%. Hold on a second. Right.
That's because he had good writing in No Way Home.
Yeah, that's
That's
what.
the
Yeah, that's
problem.
what I said.
He
I
had
said in the
shit
right
writing
hand.
he had
Yeah.
shit writing in those other 2 Spider-Man films.
Yeah, that's what I said. Andrew Garfield in the right hands was such a good Spider-Man. Right, okay, so Lawrence here watched the entire thing in black and white, but it was weird because I thought it was supposed to be the same Spider-Man noir from Spider-Verse. Yeah, no, well, it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same. It was a different version. So, and then it said here about change his name. So they haven't said outright, Lawrence, that he is Peter Parker, but it's just heavily implied. We assume it's probably licensing because they mention he does change his name from Peter Parker to Ben Riley.
Sony has licensed Peter Parker.
I don't know, but it could be to do with the TV, though. It could be to do with television. So Marvel still retain the rights to make TV, like I think animated stuff, or maybe they've got the name just for the. I don't know. There must be a licensing thing there, which I don't know what it is. But right, okay. So, okay, I'm going to go and say Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is my favorite. Then Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man is second. You're the other way around. But then we've got these other films. Okay, so we've got Venom,
Venom the worst.
Madam Web, Craven, and Morbius. I think Morbius is the worst. I actually
Really? I think Morbius is the best.
No, not Morbius. Sorry, not Morbius. I think Craven is the worst. I think Craven.
I haven't seen Craven, so no comment.
It is so awful. I think Craven is the worst. I would say, I don't know, probably Morbius, Venom, and then I prefer Madam Web above that. I thought Madam Web wasn't that awful.
After 20 minutes. I know I sound probably sexist.
I went to the cinema and saw it, so I watched the whole thing. But I didn't mind Madam Web.
I had it on streaming and I just watched it and I'm like, nah. When you just get in that mood and you're like, nah, I'm going to watch something else, because you just got that option.
But generally, when you watch what Sony have done with the Spider-Man license, they haven't handled it badly. They haven't handled it well. They haven't handled the Spider-Man license that well. The first two Tobey Maguire films were done really well. The third one was not very good. Andrew Garfield's first Spider-Man film I thought was good. The second Andrew Garfield film was pretty trash. But what I did like from Andrew Garfield's films was the parents' storyline. I thought that was very interesting, and I liked the potential spy element. I don't know if you've seen it, there's a scene where his father shows up alive years later, but they decided to not put that in the second film.
Yeah.
Have you seen it? Yeah. So, but to come back to your point, the best thing that Sony have done, probably pretty much there, really. I would say, I wouldn't say it's the best, but it could now be on par with maybe Tobey Maguire's films.
When I say Sony, I mean the reboot. I don't include the Spider-Man films. I was saying like Venom onwards.
Oh yeah. I'm not talking about Tom Holland or anything like that, because Disney have done all of those. So.
This has been the best Spider-Man product since Amazing Spider-Man. Put it that way.
Okay.
We'll say it like that.
I in the middle, I did get a little bit lost of it. I wasn't loving it too much in the beginning. I think it meandered a little bit in the middle, but for the most part, it was a decent show. It was a really well put together show. And to come back to your thing about picking up the comic book, I've never read it, but David Hine was the creator of the first Spider-Man Noir, and apparently he's been quite vocal online that he's not particularly happy with this interpretation. Yeah. So he's come out and said that he's disappointed that they've softened the politics in the show. He said Spider-Man. So it's not really in here. So apparently in the first comic book, it was fiercely political. It was anti-fascist. And
but we don't want to see that.
Yeah. So apparently, Peter Parker, Aunt May, and Uncle Ben were liberal, socialist, communist radicals fighting against a fascist goblin regime during the Depression. However, the show decided to go down the safer, soft detective narrative. And the thing is, you've got to think...
It's not going to work, especially nowadays, like today's day and age. That ain't going to work, those kind of shows, because you're then only putting out to either the left or the right. You know what I mean? You're only suiting that one crowd.
If you go down a left or a right angle, you're cutting off half.
100%.
Yeah. So
100%.
I can see why they went down a safer route. Yeah, I can 100%. I can see why they went down a safer route. But of course, the creator of the comic book isn't going to be happy about it. It's based on.
They never are, because they never get money for it. That's all.
It's not an interpretation. It's not a word for word page lifted off. It's they based it off of that, and you based it off of somebody else's thing. So this Spider-Man Noir is or Spider Noir is kind of based off a little bit of everything, really. Based off David Hine, your original storyline, based off a little bit of Spider-Verse, maybe. Based off of taking a name from the Clone Saga. It's kind of amalgamated into this TV show. So overall, I would say this is a fun show to watch. It's not. Yeah. It's a bit silly. I would say I think Nicolas Cage is probably a little bit too campy for my liking, but I think there are some really cool moments with him dressed as the Spider, jumping on cars, flying through the city. I like some of the opening lines about this, about he makes a comment about the universe, and then I like how it ends with him, his character storyline from being kind of down on his luck, alcoholic, depressed from the loss of his, the love of his life, but actually his friendship group and the challenges he faced against Silvermane have kind of redeemed his character, and he's put the suit back on, and his friends are there to support him, and I'm there for the story. I don't know if we'll get a second one or not, because clearly this is really expensive. So, and if they spent like a year making it, man, this is going to be like 2 or 3 years before we get a sequel. But
I reckon I'll get a movie. I reckon I'll make a movie next.
I think they should just go down the movie route.
But my question is with Thingo coming up. What's it called? Doomsday, and then we've got
Secret War.
Yeah. Could he appear?
I mean, yeah, could anybody appear?
There's a Captain America in that World War that World War.
I don't think he would be in Doomsday. But maybe Secret War.
But isn't Captain America in? Because was it World War II? This Spider-Man was in, or World War One?
I think it was World War One.
And Captain America was World War One, wasn't he?
World War Two.
Was he World War Two?
Yeah.
I think Sony should build, or Amazon. I don't know, because I say Sony because it says Sony, Sony at the start of the credits. But I think they need to start building off this if they're going to build their universe, because they were
Lawrence asked a
Venom,
question.
Morbius, and all that.
He said, "Do you think he'd show up with Ghost Rider?" But I'll change that question now. If you had to pick a choice between him, because we'd only want one version, would you want him to show up as Ghost Rider or this Spider-Man?
That's a good question, that one.
I'd go with the Spider-Man, especially if we had Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire back.
See, Ghost Rider just had bad writers. I reckon that character could do good.
What if they brought in Ghost Rider from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Oh, see, I didn't watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I did see pickets of him. I'd rather the Nicolas Cage. But I don't know, because I'm not a Ghost Rider comic fan, and they're, different. They portrayed the character, they act it differently. So it goes down to what the fans want. It's the same as Superman, Henry Cavill versus whatever his name is, new guy. They're different. They're different kind of takes on him. But I would say Ghost Rider because we've already got enough Spider people. But it'd be good to see all the Spider, people together. But he's from World War One, so I don't know how they can do it anyway because he wouldn't be
just mate. If it's Secret War, if they go down the route of just it's sort of everything being thrown together like a battle thing, it won't matter what time he's from or anything like that. And in fact, to be honest, they pulled Spider-Noir into the Miles Morales Spider-Verse film, and that was in current time. So you've got to think that those rules of time don't necessarily apply. I'm seeing what you're saying now about actually if we had Secret War, we had Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire back, would it not feel like an overkill having Nicolas Cage? I think I'm going to go with Nicolas Cage being Ghost Rider. I think if I would choose Ghost Rider, I think that would be pretty cool because Ghost Rider would not be represented, and they have so far not brought back that character yet. They brought, if you look at Deadpool and Wolverine, we've had Electro, we've had Blade, we've had the Human Torch from the Jessica Alba Fantastic Four series. So we've had a lot of different people. We have yet to have Ghost Rider show up. So I would be down with that. I think that would be cool. So
what do you think if they would do a season 2? What would you think? What would they do?
I don't know what else they...
You can't get the rogues now because they've killed two of them. The Sinister Six. One lost his powers, the other got thrown in front of a train.
So I'm just gonna quickly.
That's my question is if you go for season 2, I was hoping they were going to build up the Sinister Six. That was my hope when I saw Silvermane trying to recruit all these people.
Okay, so I've just quickly googled. Right, okay, so there's been a few, I think 3 or 4 occasions where he's had his own story. So in 2008 to 2009, it was a 4-issue miniseries in which he went up against Norman Osborn, the Goblin, which is what I said earlier. Corruption in New York, etc. It was wearing his Uncle Ben's World War One Avatar uniform. So they showed his origin story, which is cool. The second Spider-Man Noir series, which came out in 2009, he faced up against Dr. Octopus, who, I don't know if they go down this route, but abducting minorities in New York, doing experiments on them. So, I can't see.
I'm going to read this book. This sounds I love controversial shit, man.
I can't see Prime adapting that.
They really wrote a book like that.
Yeah. So, and then he crosses paths with mobsters and Felicia Hardy in the second one. The third one came out in 2020. It was he swaps the cold streets of New York, it says, for international danger. It goes to Europe, and where the Nazis are hunting for an ancient evil foreign dig site. and then he then shows up again in more current time in the Spider-Verse and Spider-Geddon thing, which is they're never going to adapt that. But it sounds like they've got three things they could pull from, so they could have a second season with Doctor Octopus or their version of a Doctor Octopus. Yeah, I think that would be cool to do a Doc Ock thing. Look, if they were to do any more, I don't want 8 episodes. I just make a 2.5 hour film. Just do a really tight story. Like I don't, or like you said, maybe release it weekly. But if they did it, I'd happily again 6 episodes.
I think 8 episodes weekly because the morons that just binge watch it, and then the next minute on Instagram you just see spoilers everywhere.
Oh no, it really pisses me off.
That's why I hate that. Let's throw it all out there because some of us have a life like you and I. There's some people that just have a lot of time on their hand and they can binge watch it and they get up there and they start posting.
Look, I've got no issue if someone wants to sit there and binge it. Fine. Don't take a picture of the final episode and throw it on Instagram. Like, wait a week. That's what I'm doing. Like wait 2 or 3 weeks. In fact. So do you know what? Like, we're going to talk about this on next Friday. The Master of the Universe movie, which I'm doing next Friday, which hopefully you'll be able to be on. But we're So I watched it in previews on Wednesday night. I went to watch it in previews. The very next day, I wake up, I picked up my phone, and I went onto a social media platform. I think it was Instagram. I can't remember now. And somebody had posted a picture of the second mid-credits scene.
I saw the video of the post-credit scene already. I saw that.
Don't say it for anyone who hasn't ruined it yet. But
no, I just spoiled for everyone. I got it spoiled. I just spoiled for everyone. Remember to talk about pop culture.
And I thought to myself, what an a-hole. I was just like, it literally came out in previews. No one has been to see this yet. Well, no one other than like probably serious people have gone to see it in previews. Yeah. So like you said, those a-holes and that's what a lot of the time. When it's been a show like this, or Daredevil, when it used to be on Netflix and stuff like that, I just had to heavily binge it because I knew someone would try and ruin it for me. So
I've still haven't finished Daredevil, and I haven't been spoiled so far. Haven't seen much.
Well, you talking about Born Again? That did come out weekly, so you should watch that. It's brilliant. Right, let's start to bring this to a close. What would you rate this show out of 5?
You do a 5 rating, do you? I will say. Well, man, you got me here with 5s. I don't like doing 5. 10's easier, but I'll say 3.5 star to maybe a 4.
Okay. I think you're more of a 4. I think you loved it more than I have.
4? All right, I'm a 4 star.
No, the reason I say you're a 4 is because I'm going to be a 3.5. I don't think I love it as much as you do. So
no, I think be more than you. All right, that makes sense.
Yeah. Right, okay. So Matt, thanks for joining. It's been amazing to have you on. It's been a long time in the making to get you back, but I'm glad.
It won't be another 4 years. Don't worry.
It'll be next week. So.
That's it. I'm going to try to get my client to go and see He-Man this week. So if not, I'll go Tuesday on my own. Don't worry.
So
I want to see that.
So this week we've actually done 3 episodes. I'm not doing that weekly. No way am I doing 3 episodes every week. But this week we've done 3. So like on Tuesday, me and Tom went through the most recent horror films, which included Backrooms and Obsession. Then on Friday, myself and a guy called Lawrence, who's been in the comments, we discussed Mulholland Drive, which was cool to go back in time. And then tonight we've covered off Spider-Man Noir. What's that?
That's with what's her name, isn't it?
Naomi Watts.
No, I'm thinking something different.
Oh, okay. And but right, no other episodes next week, as far as I'm aware. But we'll be back next Friday to discuss the new Master of the Universe film, which it won't just be Matt. There's a lot of people coming back next Friday, so I've got a couple of other guests lined up. If this works out, man, this will be cool. We'll have people from the UK, America, Canada, and Australia. Like that'll be the first time I've ever managed 4 countries in one episode. So,
that's pretty good.
Yeah,
time zones.
Yeah, I know. Well, no, 3 time zones because Canada and America share the same time zone.
I don't know.
Yeah. Canada's above America, isn't it? So they obviously still use the Central and East Coast thing and all that. But
Queensland's above us and they're in a different time zone. But anyway. Australia's big. You can fit Australia and Europe, people. Just so you
No,
know, we're
no,
not
no.
that
But
small island on the
I
map.
mean, no,
We're
no.
bigger
But
than Europe.
America has 3 time zones, but obviously
Okay,
Canada would have the 3 time zones as well, depends
same.
on what. Yeah. So the UK just have 1 time zone. That's it. Right. Okay. We'll be back next week. Thanks for watching, listening. Again, podcasting, like, subscribe, all that crap, and we will see you next week.